everyone. Just give me 1 second. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's go. Many of us are here today because we believe in the open web. As much as we love mobile apps, we also want the web to thrive. However, one area where the web is falling behind is motion design. Even something as simple as the Settings app on your iPhone is packed with subtle details that make transitions feel polished and help users understand what's happening. Now, compare that to your typical SaaS dashboard, where you'd be lucky to see any animations at all. Sadly, the web has a culture where animation is seen as decoration and not as a tool to meaningfully improve the user experience. So today, I'd love to show you how view transitions can help us close the gap. In the next 10 minutes, we'll use the new React APIs to improve page navigation of a small Next.js demo. And I'll share with you some tips that you can use to apply motion design with care and intention. By default, when you're navigating between pages, the browser hard cuts from the old page to the new page, like this. And this. There is nothing wrong with this. This is how the web has always worked. But can we do better? The challenge is navigating or animating between server-rendered pages has historically been really, really hard. You have to hold on to the old page, grab the new one, and then somehow animate between them. Luckily, as it happens, with view transitions, the browser can now pause just before painting the new page to the screen. And at this precise point, it knows what the old page looked like and what the new page will look like, which gives us a chance to animate between them. So let's start with a very simple example. As we learned yesterday, in React, we can opt into browser transitions by wrapping UI in the new view transitions component. And out of the box, this will give us a simple crossfade between views. So now, when we navigate, the old content will fade out, and the new content will fade in. It's so fast. Did anyone catch that? I will slow it down for you. OK, did you catch that this time? Cool. So for many navigations, this simple fade is enough. But there is opportunity for us to do more where it makes sense. By adding horizontal motion, we can help users build a spatial map of our UI. And you've probably seen this pattern in mobile apps, where the pages slide left or right. This makes it feel like the pages are sitting side by side, so if you move forwards or backwards, it feels like you're moving in space. To achieve this, we'll define CSS keyframes, and we'll apply them to the browser elements. And rather than apply these animations to all view transitions, we'll target ones with specific class names. Back in React land, we can map the classes we just defined to the enter and exit props of the view transition component. So let's see these changes in action. OK, so navigation between our pages now slide horizontally, but there's a small problem. Notice how every transition moves in the same direction, even when I click the previous button. We can customize direction with React transition types. And to do this in Next.js, we'll need to create a custom component that first wraps next link, handles navigation, restart transition, and router push, and accepts a type prop that is then passed to the add transition type function. And I promise you, this is the hardest part. OK, so now we can use our custom link component to assign a direction to our previous and next buttons. Finally, we'll update the enter and exit props to use the new transition types we just defined. So now, when I click the previous button and the next button, the transition moves in the right direction, forwards, backwards. Okay, so navigation across our pages are now spatially consistent, but we can do more. There's still room for improvement. Right now, you will notice that the header and the footer, or the backlink and the pagination, slide with the rest of the content, even though they don't visually change between pages. We can freeze these elements in place with shared element transitions. And we can create shared elements by wrapping them in nested view transition components and assigning them a unique name. I know, it looks a little crazy, but trust the process. So what this is doing is opting the elements out of the main parent transition that is animating the rest of the page. So when the elements don't change between views, they will now appear frozen in place. But when they do change, the browser will automatically handle the scale and position, which helps users understand how the elements relate between views. Oh, yeah. Okay, so movement is cool, but we need to be mindful of how we use it. First, our eyes are very good at focusing on fast-moving objects. And in video editing, we use something called motion blur to reduce eye strain. So we already have motion. Now we just need the blur. I call this the poor man's motion blur. Now, the elements that move are going to be slightly blurred, which tells our eyes that they don't need to fixate or follow the movement around. And another thing to consider is that we don't want long animations to get in the way of users navigating to a new page. So we can tweak the animation easing and duration to make things short and fluid. And of course, whenever we add any movement, we should consider removing it or reducing it for users who prefer reduced motion. And last but not least, since React is all about composition, we can figure out these motion patterns once and move them into reusable components. And we could even publish them as NPM packages for the rest of the community. Pretty cool, right? Like, I'm really looking forward to what people are going to be building with your transitions. Okay, so I threw a lot at you. That was a lot to process. So to help our understanding of how V-transitions actually work, let's open up the DevTools. And I need to go to that screen. Yes, okay. So here in the animations panel, you can see that I can pause or I can slow down the animation, okay? And I want you to pay attention just below the HTML tag. Are you ready? Hold on, I need my mouse back. Okay. Did you see that? So when we navigate, the browser layers temporary pseudo-elements on top of the DOM. And these pseudo-elements are for the old and new pages. When the transition is complete, the elements are then removed. One way to think about it is that the browser is essentially taking photos of both pages, putting them on top of the DOM, and then animating between them. Once the animation is complete, removing the photos to reveal the page underneath. It's like a swap, a magic trick. It's surprisingly simple, but also very clever. And naturally, very, very performant, because we are animating between static images rather than potentially massive DOM trees. Like, could you imagine if we had to update pixel by pixel of an animation on the DOM? It would be crazy, right? So, while there's a lot more going on under the hood, all we really have to do as developers is decide what elements we want to participate in the view transition, design how these elements animate, and let React and the browser do the coordination. And as you may have already guessed it, this whole presentation was built with view transitions. And I hope this serves as an example of how flexible these APIs can be. When you are using view transitions, you can start simple. But you can also layer in more complex animations when it makes sense. And if there's one thing I would love for you to take away from this talk, is that animations aren't just for decoration. Done right, they can help guide users and make your applications feel more polished without introducing friction or hurting performance. And I'm very, very excited about view transitions in React and Next.js because they're going to help us raise the bar for the web. Thank you.